Knock, knock, home inspector. Hey, what's up, screen friends? It's your favorite home inspector, Brian Carlson from Carlson Home Inspections. Thanks for joining me again today, you guys. I am driving across town to do a home inspection. Oh my gosh, imagine that. Today, you guys, we are going to inspect a 1,700 square foot home that was built in 1946, and we're all in luck because it is empty, it's vacant. So it'll just be able to set up some cameras and hopefully show you guys a good home inspection. Now, I'm coming from a home inspection. I just inspected a home that was built in 1992. It was 4,800 square feet. Let's say 6 or 7 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, had a 3-car garage. It was on 4 acres, had an apple orchard and like a stockyard, I guess you would call it, for some animals. It was really quite a neat home. Had nothing real crazy. I didn't video that because it was very, very heavily occupied. The owners were present for the whole inspection, and so I just felt like it was probably best to not film in that one. Had some neat grade issues, which I'd say that's probably one of the most common here in northern Utah. That's probably one of the most common things I come up with on a home during a home inspection, or even a building, a property, a commercial, you name it, is negative grade or grade that slopes towards the house. So the grade, if your soil, your ground slopes towards your home, or you've got low spots, that's where all your groundwater is going to accumulate, which soaks that water down in by the foundation, and you have chances for, there's just a lot of issues that come from water. So a lot of people, like, water is one of the strongest forces and most destructive forces on a real property. In Utah, we have water and we have freezing. And so water and freezing, that's one of the most powerful forces known to man. We can destroy most anything with water and ice. And so, you freeze that water, it freezes, it'll rip steel apart, it'll blow concrete apart, it'll just destroy everything. And so that's why we want that water away from our foundation, our frost line. For those of you guys who are new, there's a lot of people moving to Utah. Our frost line is down around 32 inches, lower in some areas, higher in other areas. Where I'm at, it's right there at 32, 33 inches, which means that the top of your footing is set at that 32, 33 inches, and then goes lower. So that way it's out of that frost. So you can't, if there's a bunch of water there, it doesn't frost heave and lift your thing up. Everybody sees the concrete that is lifted, or it's all angled and goofy looking. And yes, settlement is what's happening, but it's typically in Utah. This is, again, not your climate, because if you're in Arizona or New Mexico, this is probably not what's happening. But here, I guess Flagstaff, it could be happening. So that's also irrelevant. But anyhow, different parts of the world have different problems. Ours is the frost heave. Your big concrete slab, in the wintertime, it'll get water underneath it, and then it'll heave up. And then when it settles kind of wonky. And then you have wonky patios, right? And that's where mud jacking comes in. Mud jacking is a super awesome process where they use a high yield foam that they can float and lift concrete slabs and level them out in a lot of instances. It's not like a catch-all fix 100% of everything, but I have seen those people, different companies doing it, do amazing work with mud jacking. So there you go. Not really promoting any one business over another. I don't know enough about them to do that. Oh, 200 East. Hang on. I was just on 200 East. What am I doing? Not paying close enough attention. You guys, I was on the street that I was looking for this house. Oh, I know which house this is. I don't know. This is somebody else I know was looking at this house. Oh, shoot. Okay. I'm right here on this main, kind of a busier road here through Cache Valley. We'll flip you all around, and we're going to try to find this house. 1094. It's like right up there. It is. I see the sign. Oh, no. I see 2 signs. Is it this one or the next one? It is not this one. No, Burnside. 1056. Negative. Let's go one more. I just inspected that house and this one right here, 1082. Just did this little guide, and now we got 1046. There's a garbage can out, so you know what I might do is I might just grab a photo, you guys, and then grab the driveway and make it easy on myself. Cool, I think I'm going to do that. Well, so here we are, chilling in the car. Shazam. I'm going to start filling out my report. I don't know if I've told you guys how I like to do that. Is you kind of look at this house and see I got vinyl siding with metal trim. I see some wood trim. I can see a concrete foundation with no skim coat. I see a gas meter. I see rain gutters. I see aluminum, metal, vinyl windows from here. I can see some good grade. I can see driveways cracked up. I can see a carport made out of 2x6s. That's I'm always amazed, you guys. That's another thing we see here in Utah. There's a lot of DIY and a lot of DI shouldn't. That doesn't make any sense, but that's funny to me. Okay, well, coolio. So I'm going to sit here for 2 seconds. Well, not this. I guess it's probably like 5 minutes. He'll probably fast forward this, so it looks like I'm flying through this. Date of the inspection, 08/21/24. Time of the inspection, 1400 hours. Obstruction is empty. The client, yes, they're here. The buyer's agent will be here. I opened it with the Cash Valley Association of Realtors key box. Starting temperature is 91 degrees. It is sunny and clear. The ground is dry. Main entry is west. The estimated house age is 1946. I have a 1946 Ford pickup truck, you guys. You should follow me and help me get that thing built. I need to get it running and driving again. It's got the original flathead V8 in it. Okay, building style, one family, 1,700 square feet. I already told you all that. Stories, it's got one story with a basement, public water, public sewer, all the utilities in theory should be on. I'm going to go ahead because I can see part of that roof. I'm going to tell you that that's probably a decent enough roof, but it is a metal roof. And I can already tell you from here, I'll show you my giveaways, right? Why I already can tell from right here that it's got multiple layers of shingles on it. Most likely, you guys, this is funny. Sometimes I'm wrong. I don't always get it right, but a lot of times sitting here guessing, I would bet that we probably got like maybe 1 or 2 layers of cedar shake, and then maybe a layer of asphalt shingles, and then a layer of metal on top of all that. So we'll see. I'm going to just got to guess, and we'll see what we come up with. Metal roof looks fine for now. We're going to go walk on it, though. Get some pictures of that. You guys will all see it. We verify. Plumbing vents. I'm just going to guess that there's plumbing vents there. Attic vents. There's no way there's attic vents. Roof metal. It looks like it's okay, but we'll go look at that. Rain gutters look okay, but we'll go look at that. Okay, lot, it's flat. The slope looks good for now. The roof drainage looks good for now. No foundation skim coat. I bet you the building debris are okay. I bet you the hose bibs are okay, but we'll test them. Concrete's got cracks and spalling. Those of you guys who are not in Utah, spalling is when you finish the concrete, you kind of work up the cream and you make the nice smooth surface. You broom it, you do a texturing, whatever. Well, if you do it wrong or use the wrong bag mix of concrete, that top surface will pop off, and we call that spalling. It spalls off and looks really ugly, and it happens a lot in Utah. And yep. Okay, so curb and gutters are installed. The ground, I think that everything on the landscaping looks acceptable. I'm betting we don't have a sprinkler system because the lawn is about dead. So I'm going to bet there's no sprinkler system. There's a wooden fence that really looks great, to be honest. From right here, it looks good. So we're just going to give that little comment. The siding, I already told you guys, is metal, vinyl, and wood. Metal, vinyl, wood. Now, as we go around the house to evaluate, I've got little independent spots here where I can make comments, because I can already see on the front of the house a chunk of vinyl hanging off that needs to get repaired. And so I'll be able to go and get closer looks at those and document those really, really well. The window screens, right? The caulking, I can't see any of that from the street. I'm gonna have to go walk around and inspect. That's my job. So I've been doing this for a really long time, you guys. 14 years. We do a lot of home inspections. I personally do around 400 to 500 a year. My company, before I scale it down, we used to do over 1,000 home inspections a year. So we just do a lot of this. Okay, those balusters are over 4 inches, but that's not very high, so probably not a big deal. I'm betting there's no outlet because I can't see one. I'm going to say no outlet. And I also don't see a doorbell. Oh, I do see a doorbell button. What do you guys think? Does it work? I see a door, and there is no screen door. Cool. That's what I got. I'm going to loop this thing on here. Now, I'm just going to hurry up and walk out. Actually, do I have my tripod? I do. I'm going to go set you all up. See, this is the house. You guys haven't seen the house yet. Here's the house. And check out how cute this thing is. Oh, this is adorable. Cover photo. Put a cover photo on that report. And Shazam. See, check this out right off the get-go, you guys. See how you've got the concrete and then the wood? So I guarantee you, your concrete underneath that is supremely deteriorated. The stairs are probably all rounded off. And so they've just gone ahead and framed a deck over the whole thing. But if you notice, the deck, those posts are just literally sitting on a brick that's sitting on the ground. Like, there's no footings, there's no structure, there's no, see that one? The bricks have just settled out from underneath the posts. So obviously that's not doing the right trick there. But the boards are basically supported by the concrete, so where are they going to go? I don't know. Just the interesting stuff that people pull off. A lot less metal than I thought. I thought that edging up there was metal, but it's all just vinyl. But look, I was right about the layers of shingles. Look, you can see them. At least one layer of asphalt under the metal. All right, gang, let's just do a quick run through on this house. Turn on any bathroom fans or make sure all the lights. Oh wait, we got to find a key box. Okay. Word, no key box. Knock knock, home inspector. Okay, you guys, here you go. You are first time seeing this with me. I have not prepped. I have not done anything. Oh boy, I could tell by the overspray, it's a flipper. It's a flip house. Oh, yeah, it's a flip house. Look at all these new outlets. Anybody want to bet if they're open ground or not? How about dead? Ah, that one works and it's grounded. Cool, if this thing actually got oh look. Lights in the closet. Sounds silly until you don't have them and you need them. There's a bathroom, that's cute. Cute, water's on. Alright. Old door, new doors. Built-ins. Cute little kitchen, little dishwasher. Better turn that on. 1 hour. No. Shazam. We'll unlock the old back door here. Boom. What in the world? When I didn't know that I wanted to rave. Does anybody else notice that? See how that is? Oh. Galvanized. So we didn't update it. We did a flip. Oh, dang. We started finishing in here. Laundry room, utility room. Washer hookup just bolted to the concrete. That's not the end of the world. I don't know what's in there. You guys do. You guys got a better idea what's going on here than I do. Wait. Oh. My battery is dead. I'm gonna have to go figure out why that is. It's like a sump pump of some sort. Softener, water heater, furnace, old chimney. What we got here? We got like a family room. We got us a bedroom. Somebody's drywall saw, probably cutting an access so we can turn the water on. Some single pane windows. The disco strobe light. some varying skills with our texturing knockdown. I don't know if that shows up on that camera. That's pretty interesting. Felt another light switch, and we got us a basement bathroom. Oh, look at that fancy old mix. Oh, hey, there's an attic access directly over the staircase. That shouldn't be complicated or difficult to get into at all. Hey, you know what? Let's just say this about this house. At least it has AC. An old Brad guy ain't gonna be sweating his guts out the whole day. All right. We're just gonna go find the water meter, document that, and then I'll move into the carport, folks. So, we were just digging into this electrical panel here. So I was just messing with this. Got some interesting stuff going on. A few outlets here. We're gonna just, there's a 30 amp outlet. I'm gonna have to come back with my voltage meter and check that out. So no GFIs, but this panel is good. I don't know if you guys can see that up here up top side. It's not flash. You can see that's leaking pretty good. And this carport is literally built with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 2x6s spanning. Gosh, I don't even know how far. Yeah, that one's falling off. This is not a well-built carport, folks. Not even sure what that light does, ladies and gentlemen. Boom. Anybody see the broken dryer vent? It's fun. And hey, there's a sewer clean out right here. Interesting. And look, you can see how this concrete has all been broke out. Right? So we probably brought a new sewer and then shot it out somewhere. So that's kind of a good sign, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to let you guys over here while I just document the cracked patio, again, another super chintzy carport or patio cover edition, and broken dryer vent, no tempered glass where somebody could fall through. Yeah. Okay, you guys, I'm just going to let you check it out. Hope you enjoy this and EMDR or whatever. Guys, I did see a couple of sprinkler heads. I wonder if we can find a sprinkler valve or box, maybe out here in this awesome shed. Hey, this thing could be salvaged. Like, it needs a lot of work, but like, ooh, some little Granny Smiths. You think any of these are any good, ladies and gentlemen? Let me see if I can find me a good one. All right, here goes nothing. You know what's worse than finding a worm in your apple? Finding half a worm in your apple. That's your Granny Smith. Okay. Coolio, foolio. I got electricity, I got gas, I got AC. So I am going to say something about the grade on this north side. It's a little bit lower than I like. We want it sloping away from a house, especially a house this old that does not have really good foundation damp proofing like we have nowadays. I am not really sure what they were using. But that gate, we're just going to leave that one closed because he doesn't even want to open that. Who wants to walk on a metal roof? 92 degree temp day. Bow chicka bow bow. Bow chicka bow bow. Just curious. Did you guys smell that? I didn't. I held my breath. Well, guys, I don't really know about taking y'all on the roof, but we're gonna give her hell. I'm not sure about walking on that roof either. Trying to decide if I should change my shoes. I'm gonna change my shoes. I don't want to come off of that rope. Get some of these right here. DC's. Y'all know who started that company, right? God rest his beautiful, wonderful soul, Ken Block. But anyways, this traction, this tread right here, is a fair sight better than that tread for walking on a roof. May not make sense, but it is the truth. Okay, here we go. Then the handle slide off. You're gonna go big fella take call. Hey, you're still filming. See my multiple layers of shingles in there, fellers? I can't see the wood, but I bet you from the attic we will be able to. Dude, those are actually metal. They're like a high gloss metal rain gun full of leaves and shiz. You guys, I'm not going to try to walk on this roof because I will slide off a bit. It is just dusty enough as a metal roof that I cannot walk on it. You know what? I'm just going to plant y'all, and you're just going to have to follow along from the ground. Sorry. And then since I'm doing that, I also don't want to, I use these roof shoes as my house shoes as well. Oh, don't fall. Oh. Well, I'm going to do a testament right now for the durability of the Insta360 because that was just a 5-foot fall and it still filmed right through it. And I dropped it out the window of it. Well, I didn't. My beautiful spouse dropped it out the window of a moving Jeep while filming, and it got run over, and we got footage of it getting run over. So some of you might find that amusing. Some of you might not. Looks like the nicest dude on earth. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. You just got stung by a wasp. All right, you guys, EMDR time. You can watch as I just looking up to zip around, open doors and windows, covers and drawers, test out some light fixtures, and do the hokey pokey. Hello, Ed. Welcome back after the battery change. Now we're good to go. And hey, I test for everybody. You've been with me a few times now. There is something missing in this room. Can you tell me what it is? Oh, there it is. I lied. It's there. It's a heat register. Is there one over here though? Because I didn't notice. My initial go through. There, it's not. Is that an intake or is that an exhaust? Is that a suction? Nope, that's blowing through. Okay, they got it. I lied. They got it. What about over here? Oh, nope, they got it. We're good. They did a pretty good job on this little house, man. It's in pretty good shape. It's in pretty good shape. Let's do some documentation, ladies and gentlemen. Family room, basement southwest. Take a picture. The FBI calls this a clue, and this tells me that somebody doesn't want me to look back there. Okay, so after further evaluation, I have decided that that's loud, that this is a super sketchy setup. So what you've got is a sump pump, not a sewer ejection pump, but my bathroom sink and my washing machine are dumping into the sump pump, which is exposed, so we can breathe that in. So is the AC and the water softener, which is not a huge deal. That pumps up, and that's actually going into the sewer. And I don't have any idea what this is coming off of. Kitchen sink, maybe? Probably kitchen sink. So that's coming off the kitchen sink, going down. And then coming off of that toilet, and I'm sorry about the angle, Edmund. Oops. But that toilet is getting pumped up into an 1.5 line. Yeah, 1.5 line. And then up and down in. There is no way a turd is going through that with a bunch of toilet paper. There is no way. That is a number one toilet only. So here's where the confusion comes in and why people flip houses and don't know what they're doing and they do stuff wrong. That toilet, right, has a button for a number 1 or a number 2, a big flush or a little flush. And I have a 3-inch line coming off of the actual toilet. How in the world did I go from a 3-inch, or excuse me, that's a 4-inch coming off of the toilet. How do I come off of a 4-inch back to an 1.5 inch? So definitely glad we figured that out before those people have a big, smelly mess to contend with. Yeah. So we're going to get in the attic. So give me a minute while I get everything situated. Okay, here we go. I'm going in the attic. We are going in the attic. Oh my God, I'm already super sketched out, you guys. So one of the things, the problem with people who flip a home on their own and don't pull permits is that they are just trying to make a buck, and they are not actually trying to take care of their fellow human beings and deliver you with a good, safe house. Right off the get-go, I can see goofy wire splices, right? I got ugly wire splices right here in access of the attic, so I'm going to have to mess with this stuff to even get in here. So the odds of me breaking something or getting electrocuted are really quite high when you do stuff like what these guys have done right there. See that? Definitely not safe. There's another one over there. Yeah. See, now that's not horrible, junction boxes, but then you just got stuff right next to them that is just super, super janky and questionable. That's about what she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. That is a home inspection. This house needs an electrician. I got a splice knob and tube. Yeah, this house just needs an electrician. Everywhere I look, there are wire splices. See here. See this knob and tube. See this bare wire. Or I see bare wire. I mean, there's just like stuff. So this is way gonna have to just be a electrician comes and hangs out in this beautiful one-of-a-kind attic. Okay, guys, thanks for coming on this adventure with me. I'm gonna shut you down while I get cleaned up and get ready for the buyer walkthrough. But because it's an empty house, y'all get to participate in my buyer walkthrough. Oh my gosh, word. Okay, you guys, thank you very much for letting me do your home inspection. So I've been here for about 2 hours. I try to go through everything I can on the house that we can even think of going through. So I go through, I open and close every door, every window, every cupboard and drawer. I test all the electrical outlets, light fixtures. I open the electrical panels, run hot and cold water through every plumbing fixture in the house. And then I've gone through the entire house with an infrared camera looking for signs of leaks. I've been on the roof. I've done a full evaluation on the interior, the exterior of the house, including getting in the attic, right? I put together probably about a 60-ish page report with around 70 to 80 photographs, just kind of documenting everything that's here. So for a 1946 house, as you guys can imagine, there's going to be some stuff, right? Every old house has this stuff. So that's not what's weird. The house itself is in great shape. Everything's functioning. As you guys have probably been through it, it's been kind of flipped, if you will. They've repainted, they've redone a ton of stuff. So most of it is good. There's a couple of things that kind of tells me for sure, like when we did the work, we didn't have a building permit, right? So there was no inspection. So we've redone a bunch of the electrical, but it's kind of done wrong. Okay, so the attic, and these guys all went with me because I videoed it in the attic. It's like there is really, really weird wire splices everywhere. So you can see like some of them are inside of a junction box just like they're supposed to be, but then there's a bunch of them and it's just wire nuts twisted together and the wires are just like dangling. And there's probably like 15 of those that I can see. There's random spots where the wires are just disconnected and they're just like hanging out in the attic and they're still live. And so like as I start seeing, 15 of those, we probably ought to get an electrician out there to go through and clean up the attic. Now, testing all the outlets and everything like inside the house, it all tests really well. It actually kind of like most of the outlets are wired correctly. There's a couple like dead outlets or miswired outlets, which is probably not the end of the world. Like again, most of what I can see is the newer wiring. There's Delma. So most of what I can see is the new wiring coming in. And so I think our attic is where all of our problems are. Okay, so that's kind of unfortunate. That is what it is. The other problem that I found with the house is, so the way they did the basement bathroom. Okay, so it uses what's called, it's like an ejection pump. So sometimes our sewer is higher than our basement. So we use what's called an ejection pump, which is basically it's like a container with a backwards garbage disposal and a pump in it. So I flush my toilet, it goes in there, gets ground up, and then pumped into the sewer, right? Normally, they still have the same rules about the size of lines getting used for that. So this one, it's right off of the toilet, and it goes from a 4-inch line coming out of the toilet, and they're trying to pump it out with an 1.5-inch line. I don't think that's going to work. I think that sink thing is I think it's for a sink. Hey, how's it going, Dylan? How are you? Good. It's good to see you. And so, I think that there is definitely something kind of odd going on with that, right? So that we're just talking about the basement plumbing, and we're going to go inside and look at that. I was just kind of giving them a quick run through. So, but yeah, so that's, and again, it might be that we just talk to a plumber and he might say, no, once it goes through the grinder, it's fine to go through an 1.5 inch, but I have never known a toilet that can go through an 1.5 inch. Every toilet needs a 3-inch line that I'm aware of. And so I think probably are going to have to consult with somebody else. So just talking about some of the stuff in the flip that they've done that maybe isn't quite perfect or as good as it should be. Okay. So, okay. So the rest of the house is in pretty great shape. Now, so it's hard to go wrong with vinyl siding in Utah. Like it just holds up really, really well. And so there's a couple spots with a little bit of damage, but for the most part, it's in great shape. Now I've got gutters on the front of the house, but I don't have rain gutters on the back of the house. The downside is on a metal roof, snow comes off in big giant clumps, right? And so it can take your rain gutters, just rip them right off. And so we want to put what's called snow blocks up on that roof. So they're just little brackets that screw to the roof that keeps the snow from coming off in a big chunk, right? That salvages our rain gutters. Now, they did put the metal roof just on top of an old shingle, which is allowed. We're allowed to have 2 layers of shingles on a house. That's acceptable. But they kind of didn't finish it right. So like on a metal roof, there's edge caps. So do you see how the metal is just laid flat on there? And wind can come and get underneath that and cause it to chatter. So they make these big corner caps that cover those corners. There's just a couple of pieces that didn't get installed. It really wouldn't be that big of a deal to go and reinstall them, but it's just something to kind of be aware of. Like if you ever had a roofer come out, they're like, oh, they started installing the metal roof, but never kind of finished it. And so it's not the end of the world. Again, it's kind of one of those things that you guys want to be aware of. I personally would want to see it done because that metal roof's going to last 50 years. Yeah. And so if we do the proper stuff to it, we kind of make sure that it lasts 50 years, right? Now, front porch, right? It used to be a concrete staircase, we could tell, and then they built the wood over it. Normally, the reason we do that is because it gets so deteriorated that that's like our only option. And so, if you were to ever pull that wood off, I'm sure the concrete is just spalled and damaged and whatnot. So just leave the wood, treat it. Linseed oil is a great product to put on bare wood in Utah. Now you'll notice though, some of my posts, right, kind of wasn't built right. They just use these like retaining wall bricks and they just kind of sunk it out. And so it definitely needs a little bit of TLC. There's also like a child can fall out of that and get injured. Like they have rules about you're only supposed to have 4 inches between the balusters. So again, none of this stuff is done kind of like permit wise. Again, the house is old enough. There's different rules that apply to this house as opposed to a new house. But normally when you update something, you're kind of supposed to update it to the new rules. And they just didn't on some of these things. So, okay. Some of that stuff, like our main floor has gotten newer windows. They are still an aluminum frame window, not the modern vinyl. It's still a dual pane window, which is fine. They're not as insulating as the modern vinyl windows, but it is still considered an upgrade. Now my basement still has all the old single pane windows, which are going to be very cold, very kind of drafty and whatnot in the winter time. The good thing is it's a really good upgrade, right? Putting new windows on a house absolutely gives your house value. And so that's not the end of the world. It's just kind of, again, one of those things. Let's go this way because that gate's kind of stuck. It is going to take a little bit of work to get it done well. Now, spalling, right, you guys, like this kind of damage right here, that is probably what's all over that walkway. Just a little bit worse than that's why they would cover it. So, okay. This is our main gas meter right here. This right down here is our main gas shutoff. I did use a combustible gas detector on every fitting in this house. Nothing is leaking, and that should not change unless you guys change an appliance, and then whoever changes the appliance verifies that it's not leaking again, okay? And the wasps are a little mad. I'm really sorry if you get stung. Well, so I've been messing with them all day. Like, I'm not messing with them, but like when I'm going around the house, like they just keep dive bombing me. So see how there's a bunch right up there?
Yeah.
So we all deal with wasps, you guys. Like I'm sure you know that if you're from Cache Valley, you know we all are just dealing with it. So yeah. So this mess of wires, this is unfortunate, but this is just all for cable TV, and this is a telephone line. And so you can do stuff to hide this and make it look better. Normally we bring it into the attic, and then you can kind of drop it down where you need it from the attic, and you don't have wires all over the outside of your house.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's not right, it doesn't hurt anything. Okay, so now here's something, this, you guys, as a home inspector, this is always really tough for me because, like, so this carport, right? It's obviously here, it's obviously been here for a long time. 2x6s are not made to span that far of a distance. A 2x6 can really only span about 6 feet, right? So you can see this thing is sagging. I mean, it is not built really well. Like this was built by somebody who was from Arizona where it doesn't snow, right? I mean, you can look up here and see how these are starting to peel off of the house. You know, I mean, I'm very surprised that this hasn't fallen off yet. And so it could be kind of worked over. I mean, these are, again, they're just plopping 4x4s onto the concrete, trying to do their best. And there's no footings supporting it. It's just that slab. That's why the slab's kind of cracked and is shifting and whatnot. And so this is, again, it's kind of an old house thing. It just happens. They built the back patio cover the exact same way. I don't think it's going to just fall on you. However, I think that this would be some of my higher priorities of making this a little bit more permanent. So this is our main electrical panel. Now this panel was done pretty well. I've taken it apart. I got pictures of it. It's all in pretty good shape. And I really only found a couple of miswired outlets in the whole house. So, okay. Tell them I didn't tell you this, but I'm recording this. So I started recording my inspections, and I will blur you guys all out if you want. And my default is to blur you out. If you see the video and you want to be unblurred, you're welcome to call me and I'll unblur you. So, but nobody will know it. And so you guys, like, ask questions, interrupt me, talk. This is not like, I want you guys to interact and, like, ask whatever questions, okay? Okay. Some of this stuff you'll just want to find out, is this stuff staying or going?
No, they're
Okay, cool. So get all that kind of stuff out of here. So this is kind of where our kind of questionable electrical starts, right? So this is just kind of DIY making electricity work. So I think you might have missed me talking about, there is a lot very homemade electrical in the attic. Like to the point we probably need an electrician to come take a look at. There's just wires twisted together and taped up all over the place, and just, it's messy enough that I would say, hey, let's have somebody come look. And it might be that he's like, hey, no, all these just need to be inside of a junction box. So the junction box is a $2 plastic junction box. So it's not a huge deal if that's all it is. But as of right now, it's just like, whoa, it's kind of like everywhere. Yeah, well, exactly. What is this, right? So yeah. So that's kind of, so a little bit of electrical. Now the sheds, the county doesn't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a shed. But obviously you guys can see it needs some maintenance. The shed itself is built, in my opinion, is fine for a shed. You just need to maintain it and keep it going. Now, they've got power routed to it, but it's just the Romex wire, right? It's supposed to have a guy wire, so a metal wire attached to the buildings that support the electrical line. Technically, it's supposed to be enclosed in a conduit, like they make a sheet for it so that it's not getting rotted by the sun. And so again, the shed's got lights and an outlet, and like I said, they wired it correctly as far as like when you plug in, it's all tests correct. It's just they did this part wrong. And so that's pretty easy. You know, a guy wire, you can go buy the kit at Home Depot and put it up yourself if you're handy. That's not a huge deal to kind of fix that up. So AC is brand new last year. That's awesome, right? That thing works good, but you'll notice how it's sucking in all the dust and debris. Very important to keep that thing clean, right? You can hose it off, pressure wash it off. I use a small, really soft bristled broom or a paintbrush, a big fat paintbrush, and I could just sweep all that stuff out and then use a garden hose on it. So really easy to keep that thing clean. Like I said, the roof, other than the stuff they didn't finish, right? And you guys can see the old layer of shingles underneath it, right? We can see they didn't put gutters on the back of the house, which is not part of the code, so that's not wrong. I'm a big gutter guy, especially on an old house. So old houses, we didn't have the really good foundation waterproofing stuff like we do now, right? So if you get a whole bunch of water next to your foundation on an old house, chances are it's gonna leak in. And so the best bet is just keep the water away, right? Which is gutters. So, and again, that would be a lower priority. You know, that's just something to kind of keep in mind. It would be nice. This house has been here since 46 without a gutter. So you understand? Like, so that's why I said some of this stuff, like even these patio covers, these have probably been here for over a decade and they obviously haven't fallen. And so I realize that I'm, you know, kind of what I'm saying as far as like, yeah, you're probably not right. It's probably not going to kill you, but you know, it's not great. It's not right. So, but yeah, so there's that. Now, it looks like based on all this concrete that's been jackhammered out and this brand new sewer clean out, that they replaced the sewer line. Did they disclose that at all, that the sewer's been replaced?
I have but I don't think that the sewer replaced land.
They just maybe didn't disclose it. Okay, so it might be, you guys, old sewers are very expensive. The only way we can find out if the sewer is good is to have somebody come out and run a camera out. Okay, so it's probably $200. Without knowing, I recommend it because sewers are like $10,000 to $20,000, and you don't know. There is no way to know, right? You guys understand that? Like there is no way to know unless I run a camera out.
Well,
so just something to keep in mind. I've got a couple of good contacts as far as people that can do that for you. So if that's something you guys decide it's in the budget, then do it. And then if not, just talk to your insurance carrier about getting sewer coverage. I mentioned this thing, right? This is the same thing with the 2x6s. This one's not quite as long, and so not nearly as bad as the other one. And then this one also has the metal roofing, so the snow is just going to slide right off of it. So definitely not as concerned with this one as I am that one. That one's got asphalt shingles, so the snow is just staying on it, right? So maybe until we get it fixed, you might use a ladder and shovel some snow off in the wintertime. Okay? So hose bibs and stuff work. Obviously, you're missing a dryer vent is broken off. Those are relatively easy to fix. They actually make those that are metal, and it won't break ever again. They're $28 as opposed to 14, but to not ever have to replace it again is nice. And then coming over here, so again, fence looks like it's in pretty good shape. You could tell that the gates are all just they're just need a little bit of love and TLC. So they make, I don't know if you've seen on like a vinyl fence, they make like a cable tensioner that you pull on an angle. That's what they all need. It'll kind of keep them up so where they're not sagging so bad. Now, one thing I kind of talked about like over here with as far as the gutters is the grate around the house, right? I already talked about wanting water away from the house. So if you guys look right here, any snow or rain is just going to kind of sit here. Yep. And so I would recommend you bring in a little bit of soil and just kind of build that up, maybe 6 inches so that water gets a chance to get away from the house. Okay? I don't ever want a wet basement. Now, I also unfortunately noticed that almost every window screen is missing off of the main floor. So that's kind of a bummer because they're like $30 a pop to build them.
Well, we paid us.
Yeah, so it just is, right? Let's go ahead and head inside, you guys. Oh, this is one, just a thought. So that is an old single pane window, which is going to be cold and yucky, right, in the wintertime. But it's also like, if somebody were to slip and hit that, it would break and cut them really bad, right? Modern days, we want safety glass, right? You can buy the safety glaze to just put on that for now, so we don't ever have to worry about it. Do you guys have littles or anything? No? Okay, so not yet? Ah, you see what she just did to you? Are you family? No, just friends? Yeah, okay. Well, you could say close enough. Yeah, no, you're good. I understand. It's okay. Yeah. So that's just all. Like, I mean, it's kind of one of those things, like, really, what's it going to take for somebody to fall through that? But, so when you do, if you guys get to the point you live here long enough that you upgrade those windows, just make sure that one's tempered. So, right? It'll say this right here. That's how you know it's tempered. It gives you a little tempered stamp on it. So like doors and stuff, like old houses, I guarantee you this had a window that wasn't tempered, right? And then now it has to be. So like I said, you kind of can take it with a grain of salt, some of that stuff. All right, you guys, come on in. I'm going to put my chute covers on. That's going to stay or that's going to fall. Okay. It's so cute in here. I really like it. It's very, 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 very cute. Okay, so like I said, in there, you guys, open and closing every door, every window, every cupboard and drawer, testing on the electrical outlets, the light fixtures. I mean, everything in here for the most part is in great shape. Like some stuff, so we've got GFIs that are working. Technically, that should be a GFI. It's with a 6-speed SC. It's not. That's kind of one of those things that we know they didn't do the inspection because it's stuff like that, right? Or it wasn't permitted when they did all the remodels. And so, but everything else in here works. Little stuff, we didn't put an anti-tip rack in the range. Those are like $10, and it's just a bracket that bolts to the floor and the feet slide into it so that the oven can't tip out, right? Little kids climb on the doors, or if you slide a turkey out, it could fall on you, that kind of stuff. There's something stuck down in the garbage disposal, and I can't get my hand in. My hand's just big enough that it doesn't fit. And so somebody's gonna have to dig your hand in there and get out whatever's stuck in the garbage disposal.
Yeah.
Okay, don't hurt yourself. I tried to get it out, I can't. Like I said, it's one of those things. My hand is barely too big. Okay, so living room, so everything in here was in great shape. This outlet behind my tablet was the only one that was miswired. It shows an open ground. So old wiring only had 2 wires in the wall. New stuff has 3, and the third is our ground wire. All right. So most likely they couldn't get to that wire and they left it the old one. And so if you were to open that up and it's the old wire, all you do is buy an old school 2-pronged outlet, and now that outlet is perfectly correct. Okay. So that's why I mean, like, there's kind of, it's hard when somebody does the electrical and they get most of it right, because then we're stuck with, well, crap, how do I got this one and I got that one, I got that one, and I got that one. Now, most of the wires that I'm seeing up twisted are these can lights on this part of the house, right? So whoever was up there was just kind of junctioning them together, and then instead of nailing a box, they just left the wires kind of sticking out of the insulation. So that's why it's a problem. I believe that the wiring is correct. They just were sloppy. Does that kind of make sense? And I have 15 pictures of it in your report. So like I said, I put together probably a 60, 70 page report with easily 80 to 90 photographs. So it'll just kind of make sense.
Yeah.
This is our thermostat, covers our heat and our AC. Now, you guys do have to give me, it's 92 degrees outside. I turned the thermostat up for like 2 minutes. I just made sure the furnace started, and then I shut it back off. Now, the furnace is 1998. It's old. So we usually get 20 to 25 years out of a furnace. And this one is getting towards the end of its life. Now, it's a great quality furnace. It was made by Carrier. I see those furnaces all the time. I would just recommend make sure that you guys get it serviced and run it until it dies. Are they getting help at work to you? Home warranty is. So the home warranty is really, really nice. So if it does happen to die in the first year, it gets covered.
Probably.
So, which would be good because the water heater is super old too. The water heater is on its last leg, for sure. Now, little stuff like these built-ins, this is the quintessential 40s and 50s house, right? They are all stuck. So if you just take them out, give them a little bit of a sand, there is a product called Minwax finishing paste that works really good to polish those edges, and they'll work better. It just, when they were built, that was like, kind of every old man knew that, or everybody just knew to do that. And then we kind of lost that type of stuff because everything now is a ball bearing roller. Cool. Right? Now, if you guys can't find Minwax finishing paste, you can always use candle wax. Oh. But as it dries, it leaves a powdery kind of a mess, whereas the Minwax won't. So, okay, so in here we got our bedrooms. I'm going to start in this one because it's got the 2 closets, right? What are missing out of my closets, you guys? The most important part of a closet. There's no hanger bars anywhere in this house. Did you guys notice that? Yes. There's no hanger bars. So how do I hang out my clothes? That's nothing. It's nothing, right? Who cares? But the outlets and stuff in here were good. Missing my window screens. Now, the other thing that's big, and this might be called out by the appraiser, and there's no smoke detectors in the bedrooms. I mean, it's 2024. We all know. You need smoke detectors. We need carbon monoxide. None of that stuff is here. So we want to add those things, right? And sometimes the appraisers might call that out. So I will say though, like, and again, some of the goofy the wiring is them adding lights to the closets. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's, so they are trying to make the house better. They were just went about it a little bit sloppy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I like the lights, but I'm like, I wish they would have did it right. Cause now like you have, before you could go say, cause there's only like that much insulation in the attic and the current code is that much, right? So I would want to upgrade it, wouldn't you? You don't want to pay a buttload to keep it hot in the wintertime and cold in the summertime. So we upgrade the insulation. Well, you can't now until you get your electrical fixed. So now we're stuck with, a couple $1,000 unless you have a buddy that's an electrician. Or are you an electrician? No. Dang it. I was hoping you was going to be like, yes, I am. But he's not. So now you have the problem, right? So, and most of the door stops were kind of not adjusted right. I went through and adjusted them so that they were all correcting. I figured that's easier than like writing it down as wrong. But again, everything in here worked great. It's just a good house. Looks like window screens, that kind of thing. Smoke detector, and then same thing, no hanger bar, so you guys want to get that. So okay, and then bathroom. So again, bathroom, hot's hot, cold's cold. This toilet is fine, goes into the proper drain, unlike that downstairs one. The sink was fine. So in here I have a little concern. This was painted with latex paint, so if you look at how it's kind of like modeled, right, this has been rolled out with latex paint. Bathroom cleaners are very harsh and are most likely going to strip the latex paint right off of this tub. So it's most likely not going to look like this for very long. We also trimmed it with wood. I have a problem. This is leaking in the wall and its water is coming out from behind this. See how wet that is? All along. So this whole edge is wet. Here, I'll just give you guys just 2 seconds to show you so that you can see it. Bye. See the water?
Oh, definitely.
Yep, so that is not good. Now, fortunately, on going down the stairs, we have that big plumbing access door that we can open, and it's not leaking down in the wall. It's pushing out, so that's like best case scenario for a plumbing leak, but still needs to be fixed. I'm gonna do it. Doorbell chime. Heated up the oven. I ran the dishwasher. I didn't realize it, but the bottom hatch was just not screwed on, and it fell off when I was operating it, so you just have to attach that. So like I said, they're just kind of, this is what I find on a flip house, is a lot of the little attention to detail stuff just gets skipped. They're so focused on the big, massive things that all the little stuff gets skipped, and then the new buyer is usually the one who's stuck kind of putting it all back together. So the best that we can do, I think, is to document it, and then you guys can negotiate. And so maybe we don't want them fixing it because we don't know how good of a job they're going to do, but maybe we can get $5,000 out the house, so then I can afford to pay an electrician $2,000 to fix it. I can buy every piece I need.
Right.
So that's, and I don't know, I'm not your negotiator. That's so they're going to have to, but my job is to give you the ammunition. So I've given you the report with a picture of every single thing wrong. Like, that's the other thing is, remember, you're paying me to point out every single thing wrong with this house that I can think of to look at. Which is a lot. I'm a very creative guy.
He's fine.
Dude, whoever that is really wants to talk to me, but this is not their time. This is your time. So we're going to silence them again.
With that paint in showers, if that does come on, what do you do?
I have no idea. You cannot paint a fiberglass insert like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. If it was me, I would probably focus on stripping it back down completely. Use like a navel jelly, some sort of a paint stripper to strip the paint back off of it. And then I would use automotive grade etching primer. So etching primer is like, it's a 2-part, like an epoxy. So you can even buy it in a rattle can, and there's a puncture thing on the bottom, and it mixes it, and you only have X number of time before it turns into a block of solid, right? But that stuff will chemically etch itself into that fiberglass.
Okay.
So I mean, that's like, if you have to do that again, and then you're basically going to go over them with like car paint. Like, you could do Rust-Oleum, but if you remember a rattle can spray paint, one coat is like a third of a coat, and you want 3 or so coats. So that means you're really putting 12 to 15 coats on that of just, so you can do that and have it hold up. And I mean, I know that if you check the hardware stores, there's like specialty products that are supposed to be able to work like that. But yeah, like, I hate to say it, that's the problem. In 5 years, that tub's going to look terrible, if even that long. We've seen this. We've been doing this long enough. That paint is just going to peel off.
Yeah. Okay.
So you just have to kind of think about it and just be ready for it when it happens. Now, maybe you just pull it out and you learn how to do tile, or you have somebody come do cultured marble. Like there's even a generic kind of, so the cultured marble is the expensive version. There's a product that Standard Plumbing offers, Dexcon or something like that. It's like, it looks like this, but it's fake. And it just goes up. It would be a big panel on the ceiling, a big panel on the back wall, and a panel here and a panel here. Now I've got this big waterproof, beautiful looking bath fixture. So there are options, but it's just, again, you guys have to, I'm just here to point everything out and try to like let you know what's coming.
Strong.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. I said buyers love me, sellers hate me. Hey, so 3 stairs doesn't technically need a handrail. This many does, but think about grandma coming to visit, right? Like she needs a handrail to hold on.
Yeah.
And then this is that plumbing access we talked about, right? So, and again, I checked it all around. I don't have water. This is what's going up to that shower head. And so I don't have water, and that's totally dry. And so that makes me happy to know that that's at least just leaking out there, so relatively easy fix. But it also shows us, you guys, that they didn't replumb the house. We fixed some stuff, but this is all old galvanized. This is original. So this stuff usually lasts 70 or so years, and then it starts rusting up solid on the inside. And so most of it's been fixed. Usually that is kind of like good enough, but it's just something to be aware of, that you do still have a little bit of old plumbing left.
Okay.
Okay, then this is our attic access. I did get up in the attic. Obviously, I've been talking about the electrical up there, which is the only scary thing. The attic, the structure is fine. I would love to see you guys, get another 10 inches to a foot of insulation, so your house isn't so hot and so cold, right?
Yeah.
But we got to get electrical fixed first. Okay. And then again, like a new house, I can't build stairs this tall and this short and all that kind of stuff, but it's just old house stuff. So just enjoy it. It's called character. It's called character. Yeah. Okay. So down here again, down here, all my electrical was actually really solid. So I think whoever wired down here is on top of it. They did a good job. Again, I just have these old single pane windows, which they have pretty much finished closed, and you can never get these open without breaking them. Right? So for my bedroom, if there's a fire in the utility room, I'm trying to smash my way out of the window and then crawl through a pile of broken glass. So just keep those in mind as you guys are like budgeting things, and eventually windows would be really nice down here.
Okay.
Now the bugs, you guys, when you empty a house out, a bunch of bugs come in, and then the spiders come in to eat the bugs. And then when there's no more bugs, all the spiders die. That's why you find dead spiders everywhere. So you just have to clean it up once it's empty, and once you're living here, that won't be quite so bad.
Okay.
In these rooms, everything in here was in good shape. I see the big spider coming to eat the little spiders. So this is the old galvanized line coming in. This is an old gate valve. We don't use these anymore because as soon as you turn this, it's going to start dripping and leaking.
Yeah.
And so unfortunately, that is just a thing that happens. And so that's what I said. You're kind of mixed. You've got a bunch of new stuff, but there's still kind of quite a bit of old stuff as well. And so these things, like that's not like you have to do it immediately, but an old galvanized water main, those did not last. Oh, wait, hang on. Another coast might actually be replaced, and I'm going to miss that. Let me double check. Right. Now that I'm going to dig through all this stuff here. Okay. Oh, yeah, no, it's still. Oh, no, is it? I can't tell. They got it all gooped with insulation. That's right. I remember that from before. It might have been replaced because of the insulation, but that's one of those ones where it could, because the new stuff is to seal it like that, but did they just seal the old line? So I don't quite know for sure. Those would be just a couple things to kind of find out. Ask the sellers if they know if the water main's been redone or not. Same thing with that sewer. And if they can't know the sewer, we can at least run a camera through. The water main is just kind of stuck milling. So, smoke detectors, hanger bar. That's not my stuff. I'm not taking it. I'm leaving it. And then you can't open these windows, right? Now, so in the olden days, we could have a window like this, right? Now they want what's egress, right? So the windows are lower. So it might be, again, down the road. This is not something you guys need to do by any means, but upgrading to a full-size window where I can open it and get out is nice. You don't do all of them. You literally do one in each bedroom. Right. So like on here, I certainly wouldn't do that because then it's just opening to the street. I would do it here. I would excavate. I got to fix the grade there anyway, right? So you excavate, put in a window well. You have a guy come saw cut you a window and put a proper window in.
Fun.
So, and again, that's like a cool upgrade for down the road kind of a thing, but makes a big difference. I did it too. I have an old house too, But I've been in my old house for 15 years. So I've done all this stuff. Like, it's one of those things like people that see my house like, so nice. I'm like, I've been here 15 years. They can look nothing like it does. Everything has been changed. So, you know, like, kind of got to take some of that stuff with a grain of salt, right? Okay, so same thing in here. Everything was in great shape. It just would benefit you from a proper window, no hanger bar, no smoke detector. Yeah. But other than that, like, I mean, it's just fine. It's move-in ready, right? That's great. And smoke detectors are cheap and easy.
Yeah.
So you can go buy a contractor's pack at Home Depot and just, stick them up. Doesn't have to do a whole lot. Okay, so this bathroom, so this is where, so we talked about the weird electrical. This is the weird plumbing. So this, it's not even in here, but do you see how this toilet goes out the back instead of down? Yeah. Because my sewer is like this high. There's no sewer under this house. Does that make sense? So I have to lift the sewer up. So then if we come over here on this other side of this room, here, you guys can just get cozy and look in here as best you can. So I end up with this little box coming off of the toilet, right?
Okay.
And so it's supposed to grind everything up and then pump it up into this little line. I've just never seen a toilet go through a line that small. Yeah. Everything that so that might just be a number one toilet only kind of a situation. So that's just something to be aware of. So that's normally for a sink, not for a toilet. But then again, it's got the big 3-inch hookup, so that I could be wrong. But like, I think we probably ought to talk to a plumber just to make sure that this is not going to like blow up on you guys and cause you problems down the road. Now I've got my sink. My sink is this other black line, right? That comes along the top here, comes over here.
Yeah.
So my sink goes down, my laundry goes down, and it just goes to a sump pump, which is also not really allowed, right? So then I've got access to all those fumes. The water is like giving off chemicals into the air, and then it just pumps it up, which now I get even further illegal, is it's just pumping it up into the sewer again. So a sump pump is supposed to go out on the ground. So they're just like, this is all just the Wild West. This is just people making stuff up, right? There's a new line coming off the kitchen sink with a whole bunch of restrictions. So I don't really know why all this restriction right here is here on this. See my shadow on the wall?
Yeah.
That right there, I don't have any idea why they did that. That's the same thing as this, which keeps my water from going back down in. So I'm really confused about that. Unless this fills up sometimes and it pumps up, like I don't even know. This whole thing is just bizarre to me. So this is where I would say we want to get a plumber in. You know, like we ran the new wiring, but we use the old style outlet. That hasn't been used for over 30 years. A 3-pronger. They're all 4 prongs now.
Oh, there's a kind of...
And that's the right wiring, but again, the wiring's just kind of like dangling. It's not really... So that's like, this is kind of probably where our other big issues are. So, is that sump pump. Now, on the MLS, did they include a water softener? Do you know? Because that water softener is not connected. The cord has been cut, so you can't even plug that in.
Yeah.
It did say it does? Yeah, so that's like a pet peeve of mine, is that people will say, oh yeah, my house has a water softener. That's older than you guys are, okay? They haven't made an analog water softener since the 80s. Right? Everything has been digital since the 90s. And so that's been, so, I mean, look, you can see the cord's just cut off the end. You can't even plug that in to make it work. So that does not work. So I would say, hey, you guys include on the MLS a working water softener. I feel like we should have a working water softener, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
So I said we have a bunch of little stuff to kind of negotiate and talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
This furnace I already talked outside is 98, so it's older, but it's a great furnace. So I would just run it as long as you can, get it serviced every year. The whole AC system is brand new. It looks fabulous. Back here we have this old water heater, which is also a 98. O2. And so see how I've got that rust and that burning? Yeah. So that means that my exhaust isn't working very well, and I'm actually getting carbon monoxide spilling back out of the column. So I mean, I would just kind of say that thing. I mean, we usually get 12 to 15 years out of a water heater, and that's 22. So I would kind of just say probably just plan on replacing that. Yeah. Now maybe run it like crazy this first year and let the home warranty get it. And just, you know, because that's already been negotiated in your favor, but you guys just need to be aware. And then again, just you can see that there's no insulation right along the outside edge. That's the outside of the house. So I'm sure that all of these perimeters are like that. So it's going to be really cold down here. So, and that is 40's house.
Yep.
It would have been nice for them to use that foam and fill that with foam. And it would make this house so much warmer. And that's something you guys, again, down the road can go and do. But, yeah. So big takeaways are my attic electrical and then this plumbing right here. That's what's bothering me. The rest of this house, it's a 40's house. It's great. Yeah. The structure's fine. There's nothing that's freaking me out about the structure. That's an old coal chute. So you can either cement that in or put a window in it or leave it. I don't care. Do whatever you want with it. But just realize you are buying an old house. So nothing is like that's what people struggle. Well, gosh, why is it done like that? We do it. Well, that's because in the 40s, we didn't know.
Yep.
Like now we just do stuff better. Like think of a car. I have a 1946 Ford truck with a flathead V8. Like you girls probably couldn't even make it start or move. Like it's a non-sequential 4-speed I mean, like it is old school, right? Like it's cool and it works, but we have better stuff.
Yep.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I look at that, my son and I, every time we get that old truck out and we're like literally in the 40s, dudes were using that like I use my 1-ton diesel with 1,000 pound-feet of torque. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Put yourself in the 40s. Are you gonna be like, well, maybe this truck can't handle it? Hell no, I am going to do it. So we just made stuff work, even though it probably wasn't right.
Yeah.
So hopefully they've done most stuff. This is really kind of the worst thing on the plumbing, and also because it's all exposed, it's very easy to repair.
Yeah.
Worst case is you might be stuck buying an actual ejection pump, which is probably $900. So that's probably the worst case as far as this stuff goes. So do you have a plumber that you do that does this stuff? Who is that? Oh, yeah, sure. Okay. So they're fine if they struggle with this. Holmes Plumbing does a great job. Nate Maurer does a great job. There's a bunch of good people. So, yeah.
He's really good. He's been working at Weinstein
a long time? Yeah. So just get him in here as soon as he can, because he's going to look at this. He's probably going to be meaner than I am. I'm trying to be diplomatic, right? He's going to come in here and be like, what in the meth loving, whatever. Well, and I don't want to say I said that's a bad joke in this instance. This is just not, this is not a plumber. This is a homeowner, a DIYer.
Yeah.
Who's, I'll make that work. Very creative, just maybe not quite right. So. Okay, that's what I got, you guys. That is a home inspection. Do you guys have any questions or anything for me?
Yeah, I have questions.
So people that did this, do you have a rough estimate on what you would be to?
I don't, because I'm not a plumber, and that's why I was like, that box this just doesn't seem right.
True.
And so that's why you're gonna have to get the actual plumber in, and then he's gonna say, no, this all needs to be 3-inch, it needs to be this, it needs to be that. I suspect that you're probably looking at $2,000 to redo all this and make it how it's supposed to be.
Okay. And then what about the carport outside? Because that,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
You're just gonna you're gonna have to have somebody come out and give you a bid.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I can spitball, a couple $1,000. I don't know that's gonna do you a lot of justice. The thing with it is like, try to put yourself in the contractor's shoes. How do I fix that? None of that is done right. It should be 2x12s, not 2x6s. So how do I come back after without just tearing it off and building it correctly? Plus, you're looking for a guy who's willing to do it without a permit on 200 East, so he can get busted for operating without a permit, right? They're never going to give you a permit to fix that. They're going to say, no, you have to tear that off. If you call the county, it has to get ripped down. So that's why I said, like, how does a guy fix that? How does a guy come in and be like, it's basically a homeowner who's just got to get really creative and try to, make it work.
Because even the foundation
there isn't a foundation, it's just a concrete slab.
So I worked for Logan City, right? And we barely did up really down in Trapper, and so I was involved in the whole
seeing how it went.
The foundations, the footings, everything. And so
you kind of see it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, even the beam holding it up, that should be like a tripled up 2x12. Like, so again, it's like, where do you stop?
Smart way to make it into a garage, take it down and put a garage in it.
Put a foundation up, right. It would be nice. And you can't, so just so that you know, if a guy is motivated, he can dig underneath his slab by hand, and you can, down 32 inches, you put a footing, you can build a cinder block wall underneath for a foundation. You don't have to pour it. So there's ways to do it. That's a nightmare. That's a guy digging by hand, and I mean, that's a lot of work, but it'll save you $3,000 on tearing everything out and putting in a foundation. So it just depends on what, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, talk to some of the dudes at Logan City. I guarantee you they've seen stuff that people have done that have been cost effective and work.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
that's the codes. Like everybody's like, oh, is it up to? The codes are the guidelines. They really are. Like there is interpretation to the code. So,
And then,
okay, I think it was pretty basic. I mean, or not basic, but straightforward as far as the problems, and then that everything else was pretty great. Yeah, that was all the way over. I felt like they didn't want me seeing that. I was like, I looked at that and I was like, you know, that looks like a clue. And sure enough, it was. Okay.
Now it is getting running the chin was he gonna get abstracts. Yeah.
And then I don't think you have to have these auto switches set to flash the lights. I think you can set them so they don't have to flash. That's obnoxious to me.
yeah, I think we came here next to the house. Just like,
That did work all up.
yeah, it was
Different lights.
Right.
They're all flashing.
Yeah, they do that. And still trying to figure out this thing, you guys. That's showing the window, but it's filming us. Okay, so this is just my inspection agreement, you guys. I have 2 copies of this, one for me, one for you. That's where it is. Okay, so this just says that we're going to do a visual inspection of the property. I'm not allowed to touch any of our stuff. This house is completely empty. There is nothing that was in my way. That's not true. There's a bunch of crap out there. Did you guys look in the shed?
Yeah.
Yep. There's an old water heater out there that actually looks like it's good. I forgot all about that. It has a 2018 date code on it. So chances are, I would honestly, as long as it's here, I would switch them. I would switch them. I forgot all about that. But yeah, so anyway, so part of this, you guys, if you guys read through this, I've got a copy for you. It'll talk about coming through. So part of your retail real estate contract, they call it provision for a final walkthrough. It just says that before you take ownership, after they get their stuff on, you'll come back through when it's empty. This house is already empty. Tell me your price. They're going to do a walkthrough, right? A final walkthrough. Yeah. That's just kind of standard order of business for the good realtor. So she'll make sure you guys do that. And you guys come back, and if you see anything and you're like, man, I didn't notice that, text me a picture. Let me help you figure out what it is. I don't think so because again, it's empty. But so it's $475 for the inspection. I can do cash check. If it's a credit card, I just have to call into my office. And then if I can get one of you guys to autograph here and then give me whatever email addresses you guys want me to send the report to. Oh, he does have cash. He can sure that also. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, you guys.
It's all the fact like that.
What's that? Yep, you remember. Some people, and then email addresses.
Oh, mine?
yeah,
Just because I'm on board right now, so okay. And was you lose it or kill it?
I killed it. I filmed out the server in the teleroom.
Are you all right?
Oh, no, just his phone.
No, I know. Is he all right? I was just still asking.
Oh, yeah.
I was getting stung, and I ran away from the wasps, and it fell on the ground, and I stepped on it, and it was a rock.
Oh,
Look, and it shattered the whole bath. So I was just like, it is distressed.
yeah, no, he's bounced down the stairs and this was the alarm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You took it to a phone store and like, no, you probably broke your mother word and now we fix it. His picture. You sold like over $1,000.
And I said, it was like, yeah, are you sure everybody's this cop? You perfect. Yeah, that's a bummer. I'm sorry. That sucks. It's hard, man. So I kind of it happens. I mean, here I am rocking the broken phone too. So like, I get work, but mine still work. Me or my wife's like, are you going to get a new one? I'm like, no, because it'll just happen again. I'm going to use that thing forever. Okay, are you guys going to hang out, look around a little bit? What do you guys want to do?
Yeah, I'll probably just go and talk.
Okay. Okay, so keys to the back door, you know that the key box is kind of where keys in the front door, but it goes back here. You're in there. Okay, so I'll just leave that. If you guys have questions about anything, if you guys need referrals, so she has a great network, I've got a great network. Let's get people in here, get you guys some ideas on numbers. Do you have a good electrician?
Yeah.
Who's your electrician?
The same guy.
Oh, is he really? Oh, they go. Perfect. Okay, so I have him look at the attic. He can look at the report. You guys, I know it says like there's confidentiality stuff on the report. That's just because it's yours. You bought the report. It belongs to you. So if you want to send it to the plumber so that he can, or the electrician, so he can look at it, you can.
Okay.
There's confidentiality stuff all over it, but again, it's yours. That's for you, not me. So that's your guys' stuff. So if you guys do come up with it, you need it out, let me know. So, but yeah, I would say get numbers on that plumbing and that electrical. And then I don't even know what to do about if you have a handyman that could maybe, I just don't know what to do with to tell you about those carports.
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple buddies. I mean, I work with kind of stuff, so maybe my boss actually will pretty rate them what's up. We'll see what
Yeah. And it might be that, you just have to get creative as far as like support it with a temporary wall, cut those posts, right? Put proper footings, put a 2x12 header in there that's done correctly. And then maybe you can, while the other roof is just kind of sitting on it, you can go in and fit in some 2x12s and just kind of lift it up.
Yeah.
I mean, there's ways to do it and like make it work. I've rebuilt stuff like that before. In fact, actually my old Holy Providence had just the 2x6 rafters. And when I went to rebuild, they're like, you can't have those. And so we had to go through and put a 2x10 next to every single one.
Okay.
And so I've done that. It's a thing. It's just, I hate to be the one to tell you the bad news, man. That's all. I mean, I'm like, that's what I'm here for. So like, so that's all. That's why I'm like, I want to offer you some sort of solution. That's the other thing that I pride myself in is being able to help you figure out what to do next. Yeah. And that one is just hard. The rest of this we see this all the time. It's not even weird. So. Okay, sound good? Awesome, you guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate you letting me do your home inspection. If you guys have questions, call me. It was great to see you again.
Wow.
Okay, well, there you guys go. There is a full-on home inspection with a walkthrough. Hope you enjoyed your day with me. I enjoyed my day with you. I feel like Mr. Rogers right now, but word.